Last but not least, Toya Bush Harris. What's going on, everybody? This is Oliver Twixt here, your nerd boy cutie, reporting for duty to do the Lord's work once again. And I am continuing my streak of being a nosy bitch. Y'all know reality TV is my football, and I am a connoisseur of all the things of the things. And while we are in the season of Married to Medicine, I'm continuing my deep dive into the chapters of years past. It's so much fun for me to talk to people and really get into the things of the things, ask the questions. And there's the one from Married to Medicine who from day one of meeting, of knowing, has just always been so sweet to me, so poised, so much energy, so much life, so cool. And I feel like we never got a full discourse, y'all. Discourse. I feel that's a good word to use. Discourse. If you went to college, discourse. You know, the same class as diaspora. I never felt like this cast member ever got their just due in giving their full thoughts, their full recap, their full responses. Because she couldn't make it to the reunion because she was having a baby. Yes. That gives it away. I am talking to Audra from season 9 of Married to Medicine. I've had the pleasure of meeting Audra several times outside of the show, of course, in working with Dr. Heavenly, and I've always enjoyed her. And so today we are asking her the questions, we are asking her the things, giving her chance, her time to really get into her moment on Married to Medicine. So without further ado, guys, let's welcome in the mix, Audra. Hey.
Hello. First of all, I love she is sweet to me. Why do you have to add that in?
Well, you know, some made, you know,
me.
Yes, to me, I mean, you've always been sweet, but you know, I'm a person of what's the term? What's the word? I'm a person of syntax. You know? And so, of course, I have to personalize it to me as I'm the only one who can speak of my own experiences.
Okay, fair.
I'm weird like that. It's been a year since Married to Medicine. How has it been?
Woo! It has been crazy. Okay. Mm-hmm. So let me say this. When I was asked to do the show in the first place, me and my husband already had like a lot going on, and we continue to have a lot going on. You know what I mean? So it's
I see y'all opening up practices all over the world. Congratulations.
Yes. Thank you. Yeah. So we just got back from Ghana like a couple days ago. I'm like so exhausted because in Ghana, like when you party, especially in December, in Dirty December, as they call it, you are out until the sun comes up. Like I have not done that in so long. It's like my organs were just like, please give us water. Like, please, please. Like, I am so exhausted.
But I mean, that must be like a reward considering you just had a baby not too long ago and you've been on mommy duty. So has the break and the chance to party been fulfilling?
Yes, for sure. For sure. I feel like I deserve every single moment of it. Seriously. Like I needed it. I needed it to feel like a human again.
One thing that I'm not too happy about you not returning this season of Married to Medicine is that we did not get our first Married to Medicine baby. I just knew You were going to usher us and gift us with our first Married to Medicine baby.
Right. Birth y'all a baby for the series. Yeah, I honestly, at the time that I talked to the production and they were like, okay, you know, we're going to have our season 10 conversation or whatever. And they were like, you know, we're really just going to focus on like bringing in Phaedra and like focusing on like the main ladies and this and that. It was honestly like a 2-minute conversation because I was like, okay. And I honestly felt, this is going to sound horrible, I felt relief because I just gave birth. Okay, my uterus is still shrinking. My vagina still hurts. Okay. And like, I am not a cute postpartum or pregnant person. Like, my boobs get humongous. My face spreads. I'm like 250 pounds. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not cute. And like, it's almost too real for reality TV. Like, I see these girls on the show that pop out a baby and they're wearing a crop top like the next day. That is not my testimony. Okay. And yeah, postpartum was real for me. It was rough. Yes, for a long time. And so I like, when I had that call, I felt relief. I did not feel like I was in a place to get my makeup done, get my hair done, going out, like, absolutely not.
That's totally understandable. And thank you for speaking about that experience that so many women have. I heard you say that, and of course we know Dr. Jackie was your doctor and our friend has been caught up in some recent things. What can you say about your experience with Dr. Jackie as the person who, you know, looked after you during your pregnancy, was your doctor during your pregnancy, and delivered your baby?
Okay, first of all, I'll say anything I say about this, people are going to be like, well, you were a castmate and you were on the show, so of course you got this treatment. But this is my truth. This is my experience. Everybody on her staff was great. I felt like I had a lot of concerns because I had a C-section with my oldest son and I did not want a C-section again. I was like, Jackie and staff, I need to push this baby out, like no matter what. And so I felt like everybody was on my birth plan, like they understood, and I was treated so well. And she literally coached me through pushing out the baby. You know what I mean? And it was like, it was just the perfect birth, great pregnancy. So, I mean, that's what I got to say about it. It was, I think people like to jump on like hate trains. You know, people like that. They like the drama and all that stuff. And so it was sad to watch. I'll say that. It was sad to watch.
Yeah, most definitely. I called Dr. Jackie and I was like, Dr. Jackie, you okay over there, girl? Like, is everything okay? Because it was getting a little heavy, but I'm glad it seems as of now it's getting better. It's getting better. Now I've never gotten pregnant. I don't have woman parts. So I'm a little ignorant. Educate me. I always thought when women have C-sections, they could never have another vaginal birth again.
So it could be dangerous too, because, you know, your uterus has been like sliced open. You know what I'm saying? And you've been sliced open. You've been sliced up. And
girl, you talk about it like it's poultry. Like it's sliced, it has to shrink.
Right. Yes. Yeah, I was sliced open. Okay. My uterus was sliced. My stomach was sliced. Everything was sliced open. And I was just on, you know, the medical table getting a baby pulled out of me. That's what it was. And so I was like, I never want to experience that again. Like, I need to push this baby out. Because my friends that would push a baby out, like, they would be up and walking like the next day, like nothing happened.
Wow.
You know? Yes. And so I was like, and then I asked them, I was like, are your vaginas intact? You know what I mean? Like after. And they were like, yeah, like I wanted everything. Yeah. And they were like, yeah, girl, it's a muscle. It goes right back. I was like, okay. So I was determined to push the baby out, and I did.
Yes. And I'm pretty sure the status of the organ is she's in tip top shape.
She is top tier, okay?
Yes.
Okay, immediately just snatched back up. Yep.
So you're not on season 10. But
correct.
Of course, we're still plugged into the social medias. We have 2 eyes, we have 2 ears, and we see the things that are things. What is your overall reaction to all of the drama that is going on? Okay, it has heated up to the 100th and thousandth with millionth degree between Sweet Tea and Dr. Heavenly. We have all this conversation about Quad's departure, her arrival. Dr. Jackie got it going on. What is your take now, back on the outside looking in, of everything that's going on for season 10?
Honey, God is not pleased. That's what I say. God is not pleased with it. He is not pleased. He is wreaking havoc on that show, okay? So I will say this. And I look, I'm the person that, like, I don't like to get in drama personally. But, you know, as they say, if there are 700 comments, I'm going to read 700 comments of mess. Okay. So I have been watching the clips. I haven't watched the full show, like that full episodes. Okay. So this is from my clips. Okay. I will say this season was literally built around Quad. It was built around Quad because if you are bringing in her ex and her ex's new wife, you're wanting the what they want is for Quad and Sweet Tea to clash, and for that to be a mess, and for Quad and her ex to clash. You know what I'm saying? And then to have the other ladies who were around when Quad and her ex were married to chime in. So the whole thing is literally based on Quad. And then for Phaedra, I'm not understanding how or why they brought her in. I think they brought Phaedra in because they were like, we need more views. We want to bring viewership from Housewives of Atlanta. She's an icon for reality TV in general, but especially on Real Housewives of Atlanta. And they knew she wasn't dating a doctor or like married to medicine, right? But I think they were like, have you been to the doctor in the past 6 months? Okay, you have. Let's get you on the show. So then she was on the show, right? And I think that the whole thing was just around Quad. It was like, it was supposed to be around Quad. And so it's kind of weird to then be like, all right, now get off the show. Because it's like, it was built, this season at least, was built off of her. Is it not?
I can see that argument being valid. I definitely can. I can. Is Phaedra a reality TV icon? And I like Priyanka. I like Priyanka. That's my girl. But is she an icon or is she a legend?
Oh, I don't know. What's the difference?
I think icon is, you know, they've cemented themselves at, you know, okay, so like Nene's an icon. McDonald's is an icon. Nicki Minaj is an icon.
Okay.
Trying to think who else. Bethany Frankel is an icon of reality TV.
Yeah. New York.
Tiffany New York Pollard is an icon. Phaedra
she's a legend.
She's a legend.
She's a legend.
She's not. She's up on the ranks of legends.
Yeah. She's a high reality figure.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah. I think if we were playing Pokemon, I don't think she's like one of the like top Pokemon, but she's like, you know, she could be a starter Pokemon that could still come through and tear it all up, you know, and demolish. Yeah,
and she has like a large fan base and following, and so I think that they were like, let's bring that over here. You know what I'm saying? Like,
now I'm gonna be a little messy, Audra. Let's have a little fun a little bit. Now, you know, I also agree with you, which is saying that they brought her over there in an attempt to raise the ratings, but the ratings ain't been rating.
The ratings aren't rating.
They not rating.
And I'm actually a little confused by that.
I am confuzzled as well. Well, I'm confuzzled. I don't know why it ain't working, but you tell me. You go ahead.
So anyway, I think it was surrounded around Quad, right? That's the format. If you are not going to be on board, first of all, Quad is not going to give you jealous ex. She's not going to give it to you. So I don't know.
Too smart.
She's too smart. And I truly think she's over that man. Like, she does not want to be associated. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I will say this. I met up with Sweet Tea. I talked to Sweet Tea. And I really like Sweet Tea. And I really like Quad. You know, I instantly connected with Quad. Instantly connected with Sweet Tea. I think the mess between Sweet Tea and the cast is actually very sad. I really do. I do. I think from my experience and what we bonded over, I feel like Sweet Tea and I trauma bond. I think that it's like you go into this group, okay, and you are there innocently. Like, I was there to have a good time. Like, I wanted a new experience, to have fun, to talk, you know, meet with these ladies, forge friendships and this and that. But then when there's like bullying, or like they're coming for you for real over things that are real to you, it's no longer funny, and you gonna get slapped. I mean, that's just what it is. You know what I mean? Like, so I feel like it's just crossed the line. I do.
Did you experience bullying during your time on Married to Medicine?
I did, yeah.
In what ways?
Huh?
I say, in what ways do you care to share?
Okay, so I will say this. When I agreed to do Married to Medicine, it was probably the worst time to do it, or to agree to do it, because my mom had just passed. So I got engaged 3 days before my mom passed away. So it was like, I got engaged, which was like the happiest day. And then my mom passed away literally 3 days later. And then shortly after that was like Married to Medicine. So I feel like I was just like a vessel floating in the world. Like, I didn't even know what life was anymore. You know, I'm still honestly picking up the pieces. It was just like a lot at once. And I think I was grabbing for straws. But anyway, so when I started, this is a little tea, I was supposed to be full-time.
I mean, I knew that too from behind the scenes, but go ahead and tell us more about it since we're here.
I signed up as full-time, okay? And I'm not used to the TV world where things are like on a whim, and they're like, hey, so tomorrow we're going to be filming this. And it's like, wait, I got plans. Like, oh, you know what I mean? So I had to go to Ghana with my family for my mom's funeral. And so I missed like, I filmed like twice before I went to Ghana. And then I missed like 2 weeks, which is a lot of filming, which is like a lot of filming. And then when I came back, it was like, okay, now we're in the girls' trip. So we're basically like halfway through the season at that point. You know what I mean? Wow. Yeah, it was a lot. But in Ghana, they like had me doing video diaries, all these things that weren't shown. So it's
just like the first time I met you, which was at Dr. Heaven University, that unfortunately was not shown either.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Okay. I feel like it's TV. I
feel like I wasn't properly introduced. I didn't have the opportunity to. And so okay, so back to the bullying thing. So when I go on the girls' trip, that was my second time being around everybody, but it was like a closed setting, right? Because it's just us. So I remember the first thing we did when we got to Vegas was we were in the limo, like talking and stuff. And I was saying, oh yeah, I just had my, bachelorette party here. I was so happy my sister threw it for me. Cause again, my sister and I are like drained of capacity. So I was so happy, and grateful for her to do that. And she paid for it. My sister's a doctor too. Yeah. She's an internal medicine doctor.
Oh, love that.
Yeah. And so I was talking about it and they were like, oh, where did you stay? And I told where we stayed. And then later I heard that it was like Toya and somebody else were like, oh, why did she stay there? And it's like, what? Like, so now I'm a little on guard. Okay. So then we go to the first dinner in Vegas where we're like, brunch, sitting and talking. And we were playing like a drinking game. And it was fun. And Jackie had told me before the flight that she doesn't drink because she had cancer and it's like bad to drink whatever. And I was like, oh, wow. And I took heed to that. My mom passed from cancer. So I was like, wow. And so when we were at the table playing the drinking game, she was like, oh, I don't want to drink. And Toya was like, you need to drink, Jackie. Why don't you drink? Da, 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 da. And I said, oh, she doesn't need to drink. You know, like, it's not a big deal. We could still just play the game. And she was like, excuse me, you're not a good lawyer. And I was like, excuse me, like, what? Like, what are you even talking about? You know what I mean?
This just like, she just said it out of no, like this.
She said it out of nowhere. I never even told you I'm a lawyer. You don't know what type of law I practice. I'm not a litigator. And we're not talking about law. I was just saying she doesn't have to drink if she doesn't want to.
Was she playing? Was she being serious?
She was being, I mean, it's not funny to me. And I just met you 2 seconds ago.
Right. Okay,
like touche. And being like, you're not creative. You'd be like, it was a very weird and jarring comment. And again, on the heels of, oh, why did she stay at that hotel? It's just weird because I'm just getting to know you guys. And like, I've always been able to like thrive in social settings. Like, I grew up around all white people, so I'm like proficient in Caucasian. I went to college. I went to college, you know, I was around so many different, so it's just kind of like, I've never experienced like, just like, yo, you're not a good lawyer. Why you stay at that hotel? Why you do? It's like weird.
Yeah.
Weirdo. It's giving weirdo. So, then after that, you know, I addressed it at dinner and I was like, you know, well, apparently I'm not a good lawyer, you know, so what are you, you know, and, you know, she was mad about that. And then the rest of the trip, she just kept saying, Esquire, in this like, sarcastic tone. And I'm like, what are we doing here? You know what I mean? Like, I'm just in Vegas for a good time. I'm off the heels of a funeral. Y'all didn't even ask me like, hey, how are you? What's going on with your life? You have no idea what I'm dealing with in life. And then you're coming for me for that. And then it was like, why is she wearing these clothes? Like, why is she wearing, I had like a little champion suit, which by the way, you could buy at Nordstrom. Okay. I was not going to, you know, South DeKalb Mall and go, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
You know, and as long as it is cute, I'm gonna buy it. Like, I'm not a label whore whatsoever.
I'm the same way.
You know what I mean? And like, my body is on point. Anything I put on,
I'm like,
gonna look cute. It's gonna be cute.
I just love you. Y'all watching me and Audra really could have went to high school together, and she's just my type of girl. She's just my type of black girl.
And I've never had anybody say that. And again, the way I grew up, I grew up, you know, in a beautiful home, the 6-bedroom house, you know, like I've always had the things that I needed. My parents, I'm Ghanaian, so I'm first generation. My whole family's from Ghana. And I definitely grew up in like an immigrant household where you're taught just like what to value, like people, good people, hearts, like experiences. It was never about like labels and things, you know, so it was just weird. So then as the season went, there were just so many times, specifically with Toya, where we would clash for no reason. And I never prompted it. It was like, I had my bachelorette party on the show. It didn't show though. And when I walked in, I was given these crowns where I had to give everybody like a label. And I think I gave her the label of like petty queen or something. And she called me a bitch. And I'm like, girl, you at my bachelorette party. Like, you know what again, it's like, it's just weird behavior. You know what I mean? So we were like 2 weeks from my wedding. We go to Quad's holiday party. We've had so many run-ins at this point with me and Toya and just nonsense in my head. And my cup had nothing in it. My cup had dust in it. I had no patience. I was not for the nonsense. And so when I go there, I'm like, I'm just trying to get through this because I'm looking for my wedding, like looking forward to my wedding. And I get there and it's again poking at me. And I'm like, I can't take this. If we're going to talk about money and we're going to talk about investments and wallets and what you're wearing, like, let's talk about it then. And so it appeared on the show as if I just like sat up and said this randomly, but that was a 6-hour, I think, filming. And it was like hours of just that wasn't shown. And so then I got up and I said what I needed to say and I was done with it. But then when I was leaving, and I was in the kitchen, she said something, and that bitch talking about me. And again, I'm like, and so I just turned around and what happened.
Yeah. And it happened.
And it happened.
And it happened. Thank you so much for that for that exposition. Oh my God. Oh, we're gonna get into Toya a little bit more later. I heard you say that you felt like the show did not give you a proper introduction, which I totally agree with. We just heard a little bit about your upbringing, but can you give us what you feel like is an adequate introduction to who Audra is?
Woo! I have lived several lives. Okay. I grew up, like I said, in an all-white community. And then there was me, the African girl there. My parents were not Americanized at all. Like my siblings taught my parents about Santa. My siblings, we Americanized our parents. Okay. And I grew up in a place where education was key. That's very common amongst African people. When I was like 3 years old, my parents would have me saying SAT words. Like I couldn't say, turn up the volume. My dad would be like, hey, what is that? What is that? Say, increase the volume.
Increase. I need to say increase the volume.
Yeah, I'd be like, Dad, can you please increase the volume? And so like, that's how I grew up. And so education was definitely number one. When I went to college, I ran track. So I was a little track star.
Okay.
And so I got, yes, I was a long jumper and a hurdler. Yeah. And so I was recruited. I was like one of the top in the nation in long jump. So I was recruited to run track. I chose the University of Alabama. And so I was on full scholarship for 4 years.
Congratulations. Congrats. Yes.
Yes. And when I was there, I met my college sweetheart. And he was a football player. And so, yeah, and he got drafted when we were juniors, and he got drafted to a team. And so when I graduated from college, I followed him over there to where the team was. And I went straight to law school, but I went to law school like 2 hours away from him. But we would live together during the summers and all of that. So anyway, I got pregnant going into my second year of law school.
About a football player.
Yes, who I had known for years at this point.
Okay.
And I lived that life. I was private jets. I drove a Ferrari when I was 22 years old. That was wrapped in velvet. Everything you could like imagine. I did. I gave birth during finals week of my second.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, my second year of law school. And yeah, I gave birth. I took my in-person final like a week later after a C-section. And yeah, wow. It was rough. And so I went into my third year with a little tiny baby. And at that point, me and my ex lived together like full time. And yeah, during that time, I was like, okay, this guy is like kind of embarrassing. And yeah, just like we're not aligned. You know what I mean? Like I'm growing at this point. I'm like turning into an adult. I was 24. And I was I was like, yeah, this isn't, I felt grown. I was like, yeah,
Doesn't feel grown at 24, 25.
Yeah, I was like, I'm grown. Can't do this. So anyway, again, I'm a person about the heart, right? I didn't feel like this person was safe. This person wasn't a good example for, my son. I felt like sacrifices weren't being made, and, it was not a good situation at that point. So I left, me and my little baby, and lived in Nashville with my sister for a little bit while she was in med school. And that's where I just like picked up the pieces of my life. I was like, now I never like to call myself a single mom. I was a single MILF, or a woman who happened to have a baby. And
I love that. I love that.
And I was just like dating people and like learning about like different types of men and what do I like. And like, it was an exploratory period of my life, while also like trying to take the bar and studying for this, and like also like, just picking up the pieces of my life, because I went from like this lavish life to now I'm in my sister's second bedroom of her little townhouse.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. And at 24. So, because I had graduated. So I graduated at 24. I was a lawyer. And so after that, I moved to Atlanta. I started my life. I worked my way. I was working for free for a little bit, like just trying to like get my life together. I have applied to like Starbucks, freaking Nordstrom, everywhere.
Really?
Like,
even as a freshly
lawyer, I hadn't
degree
passed the bar
lawyer?
yet.
Oh,
at
gotcha.
that point, I was waiting for results. So, and I had a little tiny baby,
Yeah.
And so I was like,
and what did daddy wasn't helping?
I had to fight him to help.
Oh, wow.
I had to fight him to help. Yeah, it was sick, because I would see he signed like a very, very large contract that landed him on Forbes. Right.
Who your baby daddy?
Huh?
Who your baby daddy?
Oh, I ain't telling you.
I'm about to say, we ain't never heard no shit like this.
Yeah, it was really, really bad. But I focus on me.
Yeah.
I focus on me, and I focus on taking care of my little baby. And so I got picked myself up. I was able to buy my little townhouse. I, started getting my first lawyer checks. I was like, yes, hallelujah. I could take care of myself and my baby. You know what I mean? And I started my life, and it was like full force. Like people see like where you are now, and they can't imagine like what it took to get that. Like I was doing I had my baby in the law firm with me until midnight type thing. And like, I was really, really working, you know what I mean? And like really trying. So yeah. And I was single MILFing it for a couple years. And by the time I met Dr. Martin Curry, I was 29, and Kingston was 5. My son was 5. And so, yeah, I mean, I met him, and like our lives just from there.
I love that. That gives me so much hope, because she's approaching 28, and while I'm not gonna rush, but I'm just looking at it, and I'm just like, ugh.
I know. That's how I was. I was dating though. Let me tell you, I was.
And I got some good stuff over here, okay, in all aspects, Audra, okay. I'm just like, Lord, what's going on? But I'm gonna wait, because clearly he must be good. Must be something worth waiting for.
Exactly. He is. He will be. He will be.
Oh Lord. And then what? I really feel like the day I actually do get locked down, I'm gonna be like, dang, I mean, this is fun, but I kind of wanna, can I go on a field trip?
Absolutely fatigued. Okay. I was ready. And like, I will say this, because dating, especially in Atlanta, is like so trifling and ratchet and gutter. I am so grateful every day for my husband, and he feels the same about me.
I love seeing you guys together. You guys are just, to me, like Black young excellence, and I can tell it's such a beautiful synergy and connection and love between you two.
I love him.
I gotta be a little messy though, just a little messy and a little funny. Okay, so clearly, Audra, you know about pulling in men of caliber and status. Tell us, young girls out here that's still trying to get this shit together, what you got to do. I mean, do we drink soy milk, oat milk, almond milk? You know, what kind of toothpaste do we brush with? Where we go? Where should we be going down to the bar to drink
That's
at? Where
the
should we
key.
eat at? Tell
That's
me,
the key.
because I'm sick of this shit.
This is what it is. First of all, you got to get right with God and you got to be in therapy. Okay. Because I am on year 9 of being in therapy. Like, I don't play about the therapy. Okay. So you need to get yourself together. Because my main thing coming out of my last, relationship was I didn't want to punish my next person for anything that happened in my previous relationship. So I made sure I went to therapy and got right with God and like cleared all that stuff. So then at that point, the advice that I will give after you clear yourself and get to understanding who you are and what you want, you need to make everything into a dating opportunity. Okay. We're going to networking events that are very specific. Okay. I went to my sister was in residency here in Atlanta. So she would have different, they have these financial meetings for like new doctors and new professionals. So it's like they come to talk to these finance people about like how to manage your finances. I was going there and this is my dating scenario. I'm going to see who's here, who's single, you're a professional. You know what I mean? So it's not about the grocery store. Okay. It's not about the gym. You got to be strategic. We're going to networking events. Check your LinkedIn. Get your LinkedIn up. Okay. Go to these different professional meetups. Go to philanthropy meetings. Go to charity events.
Yes.
Okay. Because Publix is not going to have your husband. Your husband is not in Publix.
He's not at the club on a Friday night paying $20, $40 to get in.
Exactly. He's not blowing hookah at the club.
Is he at church? Is church a good place to find a man? I don't think church is a good place to find a man no more.
I think you find a man outside of church and make sure he goes to church. I don't think you necessarily find him there. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
You just dropped some nuggets. Y'all heard this. I'm going to apply this, Audra, and hopefully I can give you a good report.
Yep. I better see active on LinkedIn.
Come on, dating on LinkedIn. I love it.
Yes.
So, Audra, tell us, how did you get involved with Married to Medicine? I heard you say earlier someone reached out to you. So tell us about how you got brought into this iconic reality TV show.
Okay, so I was living my life like normal. I got a DM from like a casting person. Honestly, I thought it was like a scammer. I was like, who are you? How'd you find me? Because honestly, I had like 1,000 followers, which included like my science teacher from high school. And like, you know what I mean? Like I wasn't influencing or, doing anything content wise. So I had a conversation with them where I realized, okay, they're not a scammer. And then I had a conversation with my husband and the lady. And it was literally like
the producer. The producer?
It was a casting person.
The casting producer, okay.
Yes. So I had a conversation with her. And then the next thing was, I think they like came to our house and met with us, or we did like a camera thing where we talked to them, And then after that, it was like, all right, we're gonna like do what's it called? Where they kind of like come to your house and like I forget what they call it. They did that.
Screen testing.
Yeah, something like that. They did that. And like, again, Martin and I are just like ourselves in all scenarios. I don't change for anybody. He doesn't change for anybody.
I love y'all on the show. Ugh, I love you.
Oh, thank you. So we were just ourselves. And then they were like, all right, you're on. And I was like, oh, okay. Like I was not searching for it. I was not, I don't know, Googling, hey, how do I get on TV? Like it just literally happened. And so I was on and I was like, okay.
I want to ask you some questions, and you can say, "Oliver, I'm not going to tell you that like you did earlier." But I just want to know, what did your Married to Medicine contract look like? Because I know about the grandfather contracts from like years ago, before reality TV picked up, Married to Medicine became a thing. So I know what the old ones speak on, but I'm curious to know, what do the new ones speak on, if you care to share, Esquire?
Are you talking about what the number was?
Yes, basically. Basically.
So I will say this. It was paid per episode.
Mm-hmm.
And I will say it was less than what both me and my husband make separately.
Episode or a year for like the whole season?
For the whole season.
Okay.
It was significantly less than what me and my husband make individually.
Okay.
And it was decent.
It was decent.
It was decent, but it doesn't, in my opinion, it doesn't cover what you put into the season. Like a black girl's hair and a black girl's makeup and all this stuff is expensive.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to pay for it. You know what I mean? Like, they don't pay for your glam. I mean, they give you like a little I think they give you like a $500 like thing like every month for that or something, but like $500, that doesn't even cover my hair for like one time. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, and so what if the question is like, was I compensated for what I put into the show? In my opinion, no.
Did your compensation per episode change once you got changed from main cast member to friend of?
No, it didn't. It was still based on the per episode.
Right. Which guys out there watching, me having done reality TV, that's usually how you get paid. It's per episode. You know, it's not like you get this big check for the season. No, as you appear in episodes, they pay you.
And the checks, I didn't like how the checks were given either, because I think I got like one check during filming, and then I didn't get a check until like way after, like after
the season had aired.
After we were done with filming like the regular season, I got like one. So we filmed from like beginning of October until maybe like beginning of February. Mm-hmm. I got one check in between the October and February. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, that's just not how I'm used to being paid. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Did they start paying you once the episode started airing as you were appearing in them?
I guess so.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's typically what they do, because they edit. Sometimes they edit up until that very episode, and sometimes they don't know if you're going to be in it or not. And then once they know that you're in it, they'll go ahead and issue the payment. That's how WeTV did us when I was over there. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was shocked by that. I didn't know that, and so I was kind of like, y'all being funny with my check, like what? Like, what's going on? You know, because when you put a lot of stuff into, I expect payment. I'm an attorney, so it's like, first of all, I don't even work for free off the bat, but then I did that before, but not currently in my life. You know what I mean? So it was a little odd.
As a lawyer, what is your take on the contract you were given by Bravo to be a cast member of Married to Medicine?
I tried to do a little negotiating at the beginning, but I honestly had like nothing to stand on, because again, I had like 800 followers that were people that I personally knew. Mm-hmm. So I couldn't be like, oh, I'm gonna come and like turn your show around and be the star. I couldn't say that. And so it was pretty standard. The only thing that I like negotiated out was that if I continued to do seasons, that I wouldn't abide by this same contract, that I would have the opportunity to renegotiate every season. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, very, 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 very smart. And to anyone who's out there watching, y'all know I've done reality TV. Anyone who's going to do reality TV, the original contract will say this is like the contract that will be this is the contract for your entire time, as many seasons as you do. It's A-okay. A-okay, do not be afraid to say you just want a one season contract that says I have the option to renegotiate if you guys ask me back for additional seasons.
Right.
Because I remember my first reality TV contract locked me in at a rate, which is kind of like the reality TV standard. I mean, I'll say it. I'll go ahead and say it because I mean, it wasn't the rate that I ended up with, but it was $1,500. And if I would have kept doing seasons over that WeTV, I only could have gotten like, I don't know why my brain right now is saying 5%. Don't quote me, but like the per season increase was nothing. Like, just say the show would have been on season 10, I still wouldn't have been making anything.
That's what I'm saying.
To negotiate.
Yes, exactly. I was like, I'm not going to be locked into something like that. You know what I mean? That's it's just not wise.
Did you make money from appearing on the show, directly or indirectly?
I guess so. Yeah. Kinda. Not really, actually, not really, because I missed a lot of work. And if I'm missing work, I'm missing the money from my job that pays me more. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, not really.
No, I got you. Okay. Okay, so I've never done this before. I've done this in my other interviews with reality TV where I do roll call, where I name everyone who was present on your season and you give me the first thing that comes to your mind, first statement, first word, first memory, whether it's good, bad, ugly, or indifferent. And Audra, you're going to be the inaugural person to play Medicine roll call. I'm going to name everyone who was on your cast, and you're going to tell me the first thing that comes to your brain. I'm going to start off real easy for you, okay?
Okay.
Dr. Jackie.
Peaceful.
And you don't have to keep it to one word. You can say whatever you want to say. It could be like a behind the scenes thing, a favorite memory.
Peaceful, educated, messy, and undercover messy, witty. There you go.
Dr. Jackie will get you, okay?
She will. She really will. And you won't even know that you got until like an hour later, and you're like, hold on, what did she just say?
Oh my God. You know? Yes. Dr. Simone.
Okay, I know that Simone was definitely at Freaknik back in the 90s because Simone, she is so familiar to me. You know what I mean? Like, she is fun. She is like wild. She is like, I love her and Cecil. Like, they're very cool. They remind me of like back in the day, like Family Matters and like the Huxtables. Like, they give me that. They give me sitcom parents.
I agree. I agree. She's no longer on the show, but Anila.
Anila, I will say playful, sweet, and what is the word for this? What is the word for this? She wants peace, and she wants like people to like her and accept her. You know what I mean? So I feel like it's like when you want to be accepted and people don't accept you, whatever that word is what I would describe Neela.
Gotcha. I want to know, it was big news last season, and it's kind of been brought up this season as the conversations between Toya and Quad have reignited. What is your input on the whole Anila's house, Toya's alleged involvement in the whole drama around that?
One, I will say, and I've always said, Toya and her husband did not rob her house. That is just like a ridiculous accusation. She just doesn't have a reason to. Either does her husband. You know what I mean? So I think it's like ridiculous. I think that maybe Anila and Quad, I don't even know who brought it up. I don't know who said what, but between the two of them, one of them believed that it might have been like good drama for the show, you know, to kind of bring it up. And I guess at Quad's holiday party, she allegedly said, oh, there's like a hit on Anila. I don't know. I didn't hear it. I don't like to speak on things that I didn't personally see or
That's
hear.
That's the safest place to be.
Yeah. But in my heart, I know she did not literally rob her house.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like silly or foolish to even bring about or like let that be a thing. That's my opinion. It's stupid.
She's also not on the show anymore. But what's your thoughts on Dr. Contessa?
Oh, I love Contessa so much. I love her and Scott. Scott was always my favorite husband of everybody.
Really?
Yeah. I love Contessa. I mean, she was the most welcoming, very sweet, very opinionated, but like a good person. She's truly a good person.
Yeah, I love Contessa. I've known Contessa. I used to watch her kids when I had the only, I won't say the legal job because I ain't doing nothing illegal, but the only like job I was hired working at as an employee with the what you get back. I don't even know what that form is no more. What is it? A W?
W-2?
Is that what it is? W-2?
Mm-hmm.
I used to watch her kids at the YMCA, and I met her like when I was in college, child.
Aww.
And she's always been the sweet, just so sweet,
very welcoming.
Mm-hmm. Her and her husband.
Very welcoming.
Mm-hmm.
She likes to include people.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah. Next up on the list, Dr. Heavenly.
Oh my God. Heavenly is a businesswoman, number one. I feel like everything she does is for business purposes. So whether it's going to, whether you catch strays in the process, she's like, I don't care. It's about the business.
It's about the business when it comes to Heavenly. It's about the dollar, okay?
It's about the dollar. And honestly, I feel like, sorry, I'm going on a little tangent, but it's like, that's kind of why I felt like our friendship at a certain point, I'm like, I'm not even sure if I should like what's it called? Pouring into the friendship, because I'm not on the show anymore. And I know you are so business minded. So it's kind of like, if I'm not contributing to that, it's like, I don't know if I would have a friendship. You see what I'm saying?
I do remember her saying at the reunion she was the baby's godmother. Has she continued that relationship with you all?
Not recently. No. For the Christmas that I had him, like before, she sent him a bunch of gifts and stuff, and she's like, treated him. But
was she like the official godmother, or she just called herself the godmother?
She just called herself the godmama, and we went with it.
Okay. I got you.
But she hosted our baby shower, and like
I was there. Yeah, it was fab.
Yeah, it was amazing, and like she always treated us really well. She really did. She gave Martin a lot of good business advice, and like her and Damon, they're business people.
They're business people, honey. I've learned so much. And you know what? I just want to let you guys know, just real side note, we like to have fun over here in the mix. Y'all looking at my tongue. Y'all can't, I don't want nobody saying shit. This is turmeric over here I'm drinking that y'all asked me to be drinking every day, okay? To help with all the stuff that they say down to the Instagram turmeric helps with. I don't know. We're going to call Jackie up in here. She's going to tell us what it does.
Right.
Actually, we're going to call Contessa up in here, and she's going to tell us what it does.
Yep.
But that's why my tongue is tinted a little yellow, because I'm over here drinking my turmeric tea out of my Morehouse cup, okay?
Oh.
Yes, the house. What are your thoughts on, I was trying to, Quad,
party girl, fun, outspoken. I used to say, I was like, Quad, when you like go off on your tangents, like every time she does that, I just want to put like a beat on it, because I swear the way it's like, you need to be rapping, okay? Because she speaks in metaphors. She has bars, okay? And so it's like every time I'm like, when she's going off on tangents, I just want to be like, because she has bars, okay?
She will get to go
in the music industry.
And when that Memphis, Tennessee whiskey get to dripping, baby, it gets so heavy.
Yes. So heavy. She was my favorite person to film with.
Really?
Yes, because I just had so much fun with her, and I feel like she's so like young spirited, and like she is just like fun. You know what I mean?
Last but not least, Toya Bush Harris.
She's also a business person. I think she,
and I'm not being funny, but we just found out about the wine club.
She is. She's a business.
Which I want to plug in. Oh, I'm so sorry. I want to plug in. I actually saw Toya's wine club packaging, her drinks, her wine, when I visited Contessa's home, and she took me on a tour, and I went to the wine cellar, and Dr. Contessa had Toya's wine in there.
Wow. Yeah, I bet it's good. I would say she's business minded because when it comes to the show, I think she's calculated. I think she knows exactly what she's doing, but then she it's shown as if she doesn't, like she's, not smart, but I think she is. I think she's meticulous, calculated. She can be a little fun, which I saw a little bit at the end. I will say she's a forgiving person because when we had our little talk right after, like the next day we were perfectly fine. Like I was just talking to her like normal, like we didn't just try to pull each other's edges off a couple days ago. And so, yeah, I will say she is those things.
Yeah.
And materialistic, very much so. And she would have
material girl.
She's a material girl.
Yeah, you never mind me like that. Okay. Bravo, Andy. Now, did you ever meet Andy?
I never met Andy.
Dang.
I never met Andy. Let me tell you, the reunion thing. Am I getting ahead of myself?
No, baby, talk.
The reunion thing. So the reunion was, I want to say, like mid to late September.
I went to the reunion. When was the reunion?
Like the September or something. Huh?
Was it September? You may be right.
It was late September because BravoCon was the weekend, like after I had the baby.
Gotcha. You didn't go to BravoCon.
When I say I was still in adult diapers, and no, I did not go to BravoCon. I did not. I had just given birth. And for the reunion, I was first of all, I was past the flying time. I couldn't get on anybody's plane. Secondly, I was as big as a house and having contractions. So it was literally, the reunion was 2 weeks before I had my baby.
Yes.
So I was posted up on the couch, honey. Yeah. And they were like, okay, we're going to call you and do like a video thing. So I was like waiting all day. When the hell are they going to call me? They called me. It was like a 2-second conversation and that was it.
Was I in the room when they filmed your conversation?
It was like in a trailer and it was Jackie
and Madeline. I was in that room. I was like, I felt like I was there. I felt like I heard this. I saw this. Yes, I was there. I was there. Oh, Audra, but I mean, considering you just had a baby, because those women were up very early and we didn't leave until very late. I want to say that was like a full 12-hour, 13-hour day.
Yeah. And so for the reunion, I remember like before it, because I was going back and forth, like, should I go? The ladies felt like I should go because I had a lot to say. And I felt like I just never had the time to do it. And honestly, when like the girls were fighting on Twitter and stuff, I was so pregnant and so tired. I was like, I just didn't even want to do the Twitter mess. I didn't want to do the Instagram comp. I didn't have the energy for it. I feel like I'm going to have an early induction if if I get involved. So I had to keep the peace for my fetus. So, before the reunion, I told, Matt and them, like the main people, I was like, I don't think I can do it. I don't want to get on a plane. I'm past that time and this and that. And I was like, what if I went to where we do the green screens or like at home, set it up like this and did just like I zoomed in, And they were like, oh, we're trying to kind of get away from that because post-COVID, people don't like that, this and that. And so I was like, okay. But then like one of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, I think it was like Diana or something, somebody was able to zoom into their reunion. So I was like, why didn't you exactly. And then they told me too, when I said no to it, they're like, well, it's fine because whatever you need to say, you can use in the future for your, for the upcoming seasons after. And I was like, okay, like I was fine with that.
We still waiting.
We still waiting. You know what I mean? So I was like, so it just kind of like, I feel like it happened. I got pregnant and then it like died.
Would you go back to Married to Medicine if they asked you?
People have asked me that before.
I'm pretty sure.
I don't know. I'm not 100% sure.
I'm not.
I will say never say never. But if you want to know how I really feel about the show, I feel like it is their show. Like the OGs, I feel like it is their show. And I feel like when they bring in new people, because they want it to be a younger show. That's what they've always said. We want it to be younger. We want to show like the beginning of medicine, because like my husband had just graduated, and like just graduated residency. And so we want to show, the progression of how it is instead of like towards the end when you already own 40 practices and you're about to, retire. But then they don't really create an environment for that to flourish. You see what I'm saying? It's like, because at the end of the day, you're on their show. These people have been on here for 10 years. They know the game. They know how it goes. They know how post season goes and everything. And then they throw in naive new people.
Do you feel like you were set up for success during your time on Married to Medicine?
No. Not at all. Because I didn't have a proper introduction. They didn't show or give insight into where my blow up came from, which is very unlike me. I've never been in a fight. I'm no one in my 33 years of existence has ever called me like aggressive, ratchet in a bad way. They call me ratchet like when I'm dancing and twerking and stuff, but not when I'm like, I mean, in my behavior. And so I don't think they showed me. I'm a light. I am an absolute pleasure to have around.
In spending time with you several times, I would agree. I think you're so dull. Like I just love your personality. I love how you speak. I love how you carry yourself. You didn't get a chance to go to the season 9 reunion. Is there anything here today you want to clear up, chime in on, speak about?
I feel like I gave a lot of insight into everything. I will say there's just so much because I feel like nothing was shown or said. I think it's always really interesting when people are like, I get a lot of questions about like why I didn't come back or like why they didn't ask me back or why this and that. So I think my biggest thing right now, at least, is like, I had a conversation with the people. They said they want to focus on Phaedra. They said they wanted to focus on the OGs, and they gave me like a little consolation, which was like, well, you can come to some filmed events. And I'm like, no. I remember no, I remember Heavenly was like, come to the last, I'm not gonna give away what it was, but she's like, come to the the last thing. And I was like, okay, like I might come, And as it got closer and stuff, she like texted me when she was like literally filming, like, are you coming? Are you on the way? And I was like, no, girl, I'm at the gym. Like, I'm not coming.
I love that, baby. I'm in here working out for real.
I'm working out.
For real.
So I think there's a misconception that when people are on reality TV, they're like thirsty to be on TV or they want to be seen and this and that. And that's not the case. I was minding my own black ass business and just, trying to get my life together. I think when people say too, they're like, oh, Toya was your whole storyline. I'm like, I had a lot going on and they did film a lot. We filmed at my house. I had just like that year, I had just sold my townhouse, my bachelorette pad. My husband and I bought our house. We all moved in together, it's a blended family. I already got a son who thinks he's the king of the castle. Now this man is coming, telling him
I love that.
You know what I'm saying?
I love that story. Like that's real. It happens all the time.
it happens a lot. And, you know, my son tried him a few times. There was so much going on. Martin built and put up his first practice. We got married. There were so many things. So when people are like, you don't got a storyline, I'm like, my life is happening. Like, I am a young 30-year-old starting life. Like, I don't need to make up a storyline. I don't need to say anything. What they choose to show is what they choose to show.
Which is why I've always been excited when they added cast members like you and now Sweet Tea. Outside of all the drama and what that comes with, me being 27, about to be 28, I want to see people like me on TV. And not saying that, you know, the Heavenlies, the Jackies, the Simones, the Toys aren't interesting or entertaining, because they are. But as the audience that they're trying to attract, I think now we've moved to a place in TV where we want to see things that are a little bit more, tangible, real, and relatable. You know, I can laugh at Dr. Help Me, but I'll never be a 50-plus woman with 3 kids married to another doctor. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
A young girl who's 30, or another young person who's 30, and they're just starting out, and they're buying their first home, and they're saying, well, girl, we got, you know, we ain't at the Fendi, we can just be getting Fendi. You know, this is what we got to do. I got a baby. We're just getting married, just open a practice. That's very relatable. You know, our parents are getting older at this point. You know, conversations that people don't tell us at this age, you'll have to deal with. I think that's so relatable.
I get a lot of I get a lot of questions and comments about, like, when I do like little speaking engagements and stuff, I talk a lot about like blended families, and like even just saying that they did not show that I like was a single mom for a long time. You know what I mean? Like this in blending families and like having a man come in and run the house now is the whole thing on its own, you know? And I think that there's so many women like that. Like, you hear the story of like the guy has the kid who comes in the relationship with the kid, but when the mom does, like when the woman does, it's different. And I don't feel like it's shown, you know, that much. And yeah, I just think we had a very important story to tell. And now, you know, we're opening up practices in Ghana, and like what that whole thing is and what that means to us. I mean, it's like beyond, it's like mind blowing. And so, I mean, people are like, we, you know, Married to Medicine should have followed. They should have, because there was a lot of good stuff going on.
I would have loved to see you guys jet set the world. You guys just did something with Contessa in their property or something like that.
Yes. She got a huge building that she's gonna transform. They are gonna transform, and that was huge. I mean, and that was also, I mean, camera should have been there for that. There was a lot of drama involved with that, and we made it to the finish line, and it's so inspiring. You know what I mean?
Going back to you being demoted from full time to just a friend of, why do you think you were demoted?
One, because I missed a lot of filming because I was in Ghana. Then after my wedding, they COVID tested us a lot. After my wedding, which was after the fight, we got COVID tested, and I allegedly had COVID. I should have got a second opinion, because I was like, I don't have COVID. You know, I didn't feel anything, whatever, but I allegedly had COVID. And so because of that, I missed the 2 episodes. One was like the barbecue, which was after the fight, where the girls kind of talked, and the medical, you know how they do like the medical mission? Yeah, so I missed those things because I allegedly had COVID. And so it's like, by that time, I literally missed half the season. Like, so how am I going to be full time? I missed the what's it called? The ambush. I missed the Halloween party.
Girl, you missed all the good stuff.
I missed a lot. But I told them, they were like, oh, can you move the dates for Ghana? I'm like, this is my mom's funeral. I ain't changing nothing.
Right. Yeah.
Like, I'm standing firm in that. And even they had asked me if I would move the date, my wedding. And I was like, absolutely damn not. Like, I wanted a New Year's Eve wedding. That's what's going to happen.
Gotcha. So from hearing you speak, it just seems like maybe where you were in life wasn't in the alignment or the vision they had for your involvement in the show.
Correct.
They just chose to creatively go into a different direction.
Yes, correct.
With what
I
they
missed
had.
half the season. I was firm on that. Like, I'm not missing these things. You know what I mean? Like, this is important. This is my real life. You know what I mean? Like, and so y'all can come around and film what's going on, but like, I'm not gonna change a thing.
Shit, you know. Oh, and only you can say that, you know?
Yeah. And then I know, like, after postseason, the ladies wanted to do like a photo shoot and all these things. I was like 5 months pregnant. My nose was this wide. Okay. My lips are this swollen. Like, my boobs are just everywhere, like taking my entire abdomen.
You were not in that photo shoot. I just realized that.
I was
You
not.
truly were not.
They were like, yeah, we're going to do the photo shoot. I'm like, you guys are not thinking about me in this. Like, I'm not showing up to that. And I just feel like I don't know, everybody, you know, everybody's inherently selfish, right? So they weren't thinking about that. And I'm like, I'm not doing that. I'm going to take the photo that Bravo took of me before I got pregnant, and that's it.
And we're just going to leave it at that, child.
Yeah.
I want to know, wrapping up the Toya conversation, did you ever feel at any point you were being used as a pawn by other cast members to antagonize her?
I think I'm incapable of being a pawn to anybody.
I love that.
Yeah, I really do. I'm very observant. I'm very aware of my surroundings. And, you know, people try to, even like in green screens, the producers would be like, oh, say it like this way, or say, I'm like, that's not me. I'm going to, you know, say it how I would say it, or I'm going to act how I act. Like, I'm not going to change anything for anything. So no, I was not. I don't feel like I was used. I saw people getting used though.
Do you care to expound?
I saw people who wanted to be accepted and included being fed things that, if they are true, you would actually react or feel the way you feel. But since they weren't true and the person was being used, they got themselves into a dark hole. I will say that.
I caught that. Did you ever feel like cast members were my God. Did you ever feel like at any moment cast members were befriending you because you and Toya were having this growing opposition?
I think it's possible. I think, like I said, Quad and I bonded really well, and I know they like. I know.
The fact that was the first thing you said, I love that. That is glorious.
I mean, let's be real. They do not like each other. I mean, I wasn't there for what started the hatred, but they don't like each other. And so I think Quad and I bonded immediately. And, you know, if in time there were times that she leaned more into me because I too had issues with Toya, I don't know. I trauma bond with people all the time. So whatever it was, we bonded.
Seeing that your role got reduced, but you have filmed so much content, watching the show back, and I remember being on Twitter, people were very critical of you as related to Toya in like moments when you guys were at Quad's house, and it just seemed like you just came out of nowhere, like reading these things into some people.
Thirsty.
She's thirsty. How did you feel about how you were edited on the show? And then how did you take how people perceived and reacted to that edit?
I will say this, the editors are not there with you when you're filming. And so I don't know what their process is, but I mean, there's a lot of content over several months and a lot of it was left out. And so they didn't show the buildup. They just showed we had like a little spat in Vegas and then boom, I come out and I'm telling all her tea and now we're punching each other. Like that's just not it. If as a viewer, you should be aware that, okay, this sequence doesn't make sense. And it's not that it doesn't make sense because in reality, it didn't make sense. It didn't make sense because of editing and things getting left out of the story. There's holes in the story because there are holes in the story. There's not it's not filled in with the information. So I feel like that it was a poor job of building up that story, but I also think they didn't want that story to be built up. I think it was intentional, right? They didn't want that to be a story, you know? So they just wanted that moment. And so what you got was that moment. And then as far as the comments, honestly, I shut off my notifications for Instagram like pretty quick, like maybe the first episode. Because again, my followers were like people I knew. So I went from like, oh, like lovely picture, Audra, to waking up to like a comment like, I hate you, you bow-legged bitch. Like it'd be like, you know what I mean? It would just be so like, okay, you know. Strange, jarring. So yeah, I know the comments were like, she's aggressive, she just wanted a moment, she's thirsty. And it's like, I mean, that's what everybody says for pretty much every new person. And I mean, I'm a theatrical, like animated person. So like when I speak, I just am. And so they're like, oh, she, you know, she's acting. And it's like, that was real through and through. Like, honestly, very real.
Yes. No, I love it. You remind me of a lot of the girls I like. Some of my best friends I'm still best friends with to this day, you know. Yeah. Speak well, do well, live well. But, you know, if Uncle Luke come on, we're going to tear it up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like I'm always going to defend myself in every scenario. And like, I just don't tolerate nonsense. Especially like if you don't know me, if you're a stranger, that's where it's like even more egregious.
You know what? I do want to know this, and it's a conversation I do talk about a lot on my channel when I interview people, which is like, what was your experience like with production? You know, of course, we see the show, there's the cast members, but there's a whole nother cast member, unseen cast member part of these shows, which are the producers, the people you work with, the people you talk to, the network, the camera crew. What was your relationship? What was your relationship and experience like with the production? And
so I was friends with
still
producers.
Was it Purveyors of Pop still?
Yes.
Purveyors of Pop, yeah.
I was friends with some of the producers, and you know, we'd had a lot of home scenes and things alone, and I felt like they were, you know, my people and stuff. And then when we would get in group settings and I saw they had like relationships with other people and stuff, I felt like I was getting cheated on. I was like, but you're my producer, you're my friend, you know what I mean? But it was cool. I know that behind the scenes, season 9, there was like a lot of internal drama going on, which I feel like potentially with the production.
Oh wow.
Which potentially, in my opinion, could have changed my personal experience, because when I was on there, you know, some of the cast members would be like, well, this never happened in the past, or like, they never did this, or I don't know why, you know, it's unorganized and I don't know why. And like, they would be getting into it with the producers, but I had nothing.
Who was going off?
You know who was going off.
Who was going off?
You know Heavenly was going off. You know Heavenly was going off. You know Qua was going off. You know Simone was going off. You know, I saw it. So many people go off. Yeah. Yeah, because they've been doing this and they know what they know. I had nothing to base it off of. So I'm just there. Oh, thank you. You know, I want some more. Thank you. Thank you. Please, thank you. You know, I didn't even know to like ask for coffee when I was on set. I was there brewing my own stuff. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't know. And then they'd be like, oh yeah, just tell them to do this. I was like, okay.
Being on reality TV, honestly, is a monumental thing in anyone's life, because this section of your life is immortalized forever for people to see, for people to watch, people to comment on.
My kids to see.
Your kids to see. How do you look back on that chapter of your life now?
Like I said, I've lived many lives. You know, and I feel like it's another one of those lives that I could say I lived. It's like a secret society that like most people don't know about. And like, you know, when you're in it, it's like, I always said my time on the show felt like I was in an amusement park and I couldn't find the exit. Like that is pretty much. I love that. Yeah. It's like you're trapped in there and you're like, well, it's kind of fun a little bit. And then you're kind of like, okay, well, like I want to get off the ride. Like I
Mhm.
need a break, you know what I mean? And like, where's the exit? And then they like usher you to the exit and you're like, okay, well, that was something.
Uh-huh.
That's how I feel. That's how I feel. It was crazy. I think I would do TV again. I'd be open to it. I think it would have to be just, I would have to ask approval from God. I feel like I need to know what scenario would be the best one for me.
Audra, you have an amazing personality. Like you are a freaking key.
Thank
You can carry your own conversation, girl. Like you really made my job here today extremely easy. I can understand why you were a producer's dream, you know, because it's everything. And you know what? As someone who works in media, who is college educated, grew up in an educated family, grew up in a, you know, middle class family, grew up a certain way, live in a certain way, talk in a certain way. It's a pleasure to see other Black people in media who also carry that same light and tone about themselves, because I feel like oftentimes when it comes to Black people in reality TV, there's just a stereotype of, girl, we ratchet, we can't talk, we ghetto, we fight, you know, we do all those things. And that's why shows like Married to Medicine are so important, because they're showing people that there is another side to the Black conversation. You know, we are educated, we do have money, we do have lives, we have families, we are happy, we do well, we speak well. I just think sometimes like people like you can kind of make people uncomfortable, because that's a form of Blackness they may not be used to, or they aspire to be and can't be, or want to be. You know what I'm saying? It's different from what we're used to. And so I say all that to say I would love to see you back on TV, in media. Girl, you got an Instagram. You can talk to the people, do little videos. You know, you can just call me like, and I'll give you some ideas. More. No, Emily you should.
Always used to tell me, she's like, you need to post more. You need to post more. Mm-hmm. And I'm like,
you know, she loves posting, child.
Huh?
You know, she loves posting.
She loves posting. She's like, you need to post more. Da, da, da. And I'm like, the thing is, I like have so many experiences literally every day. I forget to take pictures. I forget to take videos. Like in Ghana, I was like, okay, I have to. Like I had to mentally tell myself, I'm such like, you know, I'm the last of the generation that like didn't grow up with social media. So I'm just, it's not natural to me to be like, okay, wait, let's whip out the okay, wait, hold on. Mm-hmm. You know, like I do it. I live, and if somebody records it, I'm like, okay, great. Now I'll post it. But that's not my inclination, you know?
Well, what I do see you posting on Instagram is just you living the life, okay? You and your husband are looking good, doing well. Your family's doing well. You're doing things. You're still out here working as a lawyer. You got your real estate going on with Contessa. Your husband's opening up practices internationally.
International.
Okay. Catch us up to what you are doing right now in present time.
Woo! You want to know about being married to medicine? I'm in the thick of it, okay? My husband and I are like a dream team, because I am in real estate. I am a lawyer. And so working on his dream, like we sit and talk for hours. Like we are a relationship birthed out the pandemic. So we had nothing but conversation for a long time. But he is such a dreamer and such a visionary, and he's an executioner. So like he makes it happen. And I am the person who like verifies everything. I'm looking at all the contracts. I'm telling people, nah, this ain't gonna work. This ain't gonna work. Like we are the perfect team. And so in birthing this practice and birthing this franchise, we are hoping to be the biggest dental franchise in West Africa, starting in the homeland of Ghana, in the capital Accra, with Dr. Martin Curry Dentistry Accra. So that has been our baby. It officially, you know, we officially had our launch. It was phenomenal. We had like members of the UN come in. We had, you know, people in the government, everybody really showed us support. We had a reverend who came, blessed us, it was phenomenal. And so that's like our main thing right now is growing Dr. Martin Curry Dentistry. I'm still working as a lawyer. We just started trying for a baby, so I'm probably pregnant right now. We get pregnant very quickly. Thank you, Jesus. Please, Lord, continue to bless me and my uterus. And yes, we just started trying literally the day after Christmas. I am probably pregnant right now.
Oh.
But I can't test until I think next week. So I'll let you know if it's positive.
Are you pregnant?
Huh?
What made you think you're pregnant already?
Just because I just feel like when I try, I just get pregnant. Honestly, like we were celibate the month of December before our wedding. And yeah, and so our wedding night was like the night. And I mean, I was pregnant before the end of January. And so people were like, were you a pregnant bride? No, I was not. I got pregnant immediately.
I know that's right, Doc.
So I'm probably Briggs. I'll let you know.
Yes, let me know. Early congratulations if you are. Audra, I thoroughly, as I knew I would, enjoyed talking to you about Married to Medicine, your time on the show, and your life right now. This was great. Is there anything you want to say before I let you get out of here?
You can follow me on Audra at Instagram. It's on Instagram at Audra the Attorney, AUDRA, and then the Attorney. And I've enjoyed this. This was so much fun. Thank you for reaching out to me, honestly. Thank you for giving me a platform to speak my piece. Because as you saw, I was kind of robbed and battered all over Twitter for
Girl, not robbed.
I was robbed of it.
We don't need no more robberies.
The Twitterverse, just virtually, assaulted me. And so I thank you for allowing me to speak. And yeah, I'm excited for more things like this, Yes,
and we're gonna speak more things like this for you.
Yes.
Everybody saying goodbye to Audra after she just
farewell.
So funny. Thank you so much again.
Yes, thank you.
Listen, y'all, that was freaking amazing. If you enjoyed this chat, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, share, and get some other people in on our chaos over here. I love you guys so much for the support. And until next time, guys, be sure to pray and kegel so we can have a strong coochie like Audra, okay? Mama said, my coochie work, all right? Bye.